What an absolutely spectacular win last night for Team USA Hockey in Cortina. Oh my gosh. Wow, 2-1 win in overtime. This is the first time that Team USA has won in 46 years. It is a spectacular victory, and yet, my friends, many on the left simply cannot find cause to celebrate. I was, I'm over here in Europe, so this thing was, happened a little bit, later in the day, and I had the Czechs here. I'll tell you this: there were Czech people here more excited about Team USA winning than liberals at home. Well, that's because, Team Canada wiped the Czech Republic on Wednesday. So the Czechs were smarting from their loss a little bit and stoked, absolutely thrilled that USA brought it home and beat the Canucks. Now, look, the Olympics are supposed to be about good-natured rivalries among countries and, most importantly, about patriotism, each country supporting their teams, and the support for those teams rising above political tensions, particularly when these teams are representing democracies, such as ours. And yet this is precisely what these dang nincompoop leftists couldn't get over themselves. There was a post, a Huffington Post, threw up after the game. Is anybody around here having trouble feeling patriotic? We're having trouble. We're having trouble really getting behind this. People go, oh, Kash Patel was celebrating there with Team USA after the game, after the victory. Immediately, without fail, a bunch of snide comments started coming down. Don't you have bigger things to fry? Don't you have Nancy Guthrie? Don't you have Epstein? Don't you have ... By the way, on the Kash Patel front, I don't know if you saw this, the media's been going after him relentlessly over his flight to Cortina, to Italy, to watch the games. And there's been this narrative that they've been putting out there that he went to Cortina, took the FBI jet, flew overseas, just to have this junket. And it was beautiful because I saw this just moments ago. A journalist who had written the story got slammed on X. You've got to love Twitter. You got to love X. Slammed on X because, basically that they had a whole email thread where the press person for the FBI director for Kash Patel had given him on background details about the FBI director's trip. Now, obviously when high-ranking members of the administration travel, their travel plans are oftentimes kept secret for good reason. I would imagine FBI director top of that list. And so they didn't want to publicly reveal the schedule, but they shared it with the reporter, and the reporter, knowing it had been shared publicly, knowing it wouldn't be shared publicly, decided to go lie about it anyway. And then got revealed for the hack that he is. This is the kind of stuff that you see. So anyway, and the Team USA, they win. They've got a spectacular victory. Trump calls them. The team goes ecstatic hearing from the president. Oh, the left just seething over it. And one comment here. Just one comment. And I put this up on X, a little earlier. Sports, okay, in particular the Olympics, are an opportunity for us to come together and to not talk about politics, to not do it. It's about country. It's about the flag. It's about unity. And interestingly enough, I actually believe that conservatives want unity. Conservatives want to be able to go to a ball game, to go to a football game, to not listen to the black national anthem or the purple national anthem or the yellow national anthem, to listen to the American anthem. They want to see the flag. They want to forget about stuff going on. It's escapism. That's what sport is. There's enough tragedy and horrible things going on in the world. There are enough arguments. We want to go and have a beer and go to the game and have a good time. And the Olympics is the penultimate representation of that. We want to support our country. And, it's interesting to me because the left is always the one screaming about, oh, we are so disunified. Oh, there's so much hate. But they're the ones that are constantly picking at it. They're the ones pushing it. I'm sorry, I was cheering, yesterday. I'm losing my voice here. They're the ones that are pushing it. They cannot let it go because they've got to divide us, because in those divisions lies the basis of their political power. It's how it's always been. I'll give you another example here. Just before the gold victory in hockey, Alyssa Liu. Did you see this? So Alyssa Liu, well, she had a tremendous victory. She's the first American to win gold in the women's figure skating event in 24 years. Okay, so we can get excited about this. Now, she's the gal, her dad escaped communist China. He was persecuted by the Chi-Coms. He had participated in Tiananmen Square. Alyssa and her dad were actually spied on by the communists. They tried to recruit her to play for them. This is sort of Eileen Gu stuff, all right? They did it, and guess what? She said, no, piss off. I'm skating for America. And, and so she goes and she does it and she wins, and it's patriotic. And the dad, you can see the dad, and he's literally, he's crying, and he's got an American flag, and he's just a patriot. And the left goes and digs into a story apparently about her having some woke views. This is often the case, right? Conservative parents, raised, I would assume, correctly, and she's, growing up into being a little bit of a leftist. I'd like to think it's something that's going to pass, but regardless, right? Now the media runs with the story, well, actually, she's a Trump hater. Now, first off, who literally gives a rip? Did Alyssa Liu bring it up? Maybe the real story here, and maybe it's actually a beautiful thing that Alyssa Liu doesn't like Trump. It has whatever negative feelings she has about the politics of America, but still goes and, and skates her heart out for her country. This is so quintessentially American. It is who we are. And I'm not going to let anyone take it away from us. Just not going to do it. Won't allow it. Not NBC, not CBS, not MSN Now, or whatever the hell they're called. Nobody. And it's, I tell you, for the left, it's a zero-sum game. And I'm adamant about this. I'm so convinced that for the left, it's politics, power first above everything. And it ties into, by the way, talking about the SAVE Act and voter ID. I mean, you just have this, it beggars belief, right? You have an entire a group of presumably, at least moderately competent people who have been able to run political campaigns, have been able to get elected to high office, from Congress to the Senate to governorships. who are all in unison chirping some nonsense about how I don't know how to get my birth certificate. I mean, Bernie Sanders, the latest in the bunch to do this. Now, I'm not just a digression. Permit me. Who believes that? Nobody. It just is not. You cannot possibly take it. Is there anybody who goes, oh yeah, it might be kind of hard to get your birth certificate? Stop. Again, it's all about political power. They will make even the most obvious lies, is my point, for political power. So of course they're going to divide us. Of course they look at this and they see Team USA winning and go, gosh dang it, that Trump guy's going to potentially score political points, so we're going to go piss on this. That is heartbreaking, folks. It's absolutely heartbreaking. Now here, I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it. Here is the Team USA a player. This is so good. This is so good. It's so heartwarming. This is the interview that Jack Hughes gave yesterday to NBC just after Team USA's victory, okay, over Canada. Now, here's what he said.
This is all about our country right now. I love the USA. I love my teammates. It's unbelievable. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we had so much support from ex-players. I'm so proud to be American today.
This was such an incredible game to grind out. I mean, you're bleeding right through it just looking at you right now. Can you just talk about how difficult this gold medal was to win?
Unbelievable game by Hellebuck. He was our best player tonight by a mile. Unbelievable game. Unreal game by our team. That's just a ballsy, gutsy win. That's American hockey right there. That's a great Canadian team, but we're USA. We're so proud to be Americans. Tonight was all for the country.
What does this gold medal mean to USA Hockey?
It's everything. Like I said, the USA Hockey Brotherhood means so much. Look at these guys. We're such a team. We've been together for 2 weeks. We're such a team. The USA Hockey Brotherhood is so strong, and we're so proud to win for our country.
This is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And what are you going to say? And contrast this, by the way, with some of these other, they're not losers. I mean, they're competent, incredible athletes. I'm not going to say that, but they're, who've gotten up there. Well, it's kind of tough being up here right now wearing the American flag with everything that's going on back home. When the only really, I'm going to say this, the only really acceptable answer for an athlete, then it's not about, don't ask me about politics. I'm here representing my country. My flag, our flag, the U.S. flag, rises above politics. The flag doesn't belong to either or any political party in particular, right? It belongs to the American people. Now, here we go. But now we're getting into the meat of it, aren't we? Because for the Democrats, they have convinced themselves that if somebody has American flags on their front, porch, they're a Republican. Yeah, it was the DOJ and the FBI under Biden that were, and they denied it, right? If you go look it up now, they say, well, it was only the Marsden flag, and it was the revolutionary flag. It was a right-wing militia group symbol, but they did. There were memos that went out in the Biden years that basically alerted agents to be on the lookout for people who had a large number of American flags, that it was somehow a mark of suspicion. And it's because, again, the leftists would rather put out a gay flag. They'd rather put out a I trust in science flag. They'd rather put out a flag with Fauci's face on it. They fly every flag under the sun except for ours. And why is it? It's because what America represents disgusts them. And now we're here to the fundamental problem of our country, of the state of our political system. It used to be that the Democrats and Republicans had competing visions for what America ought to be, and both believed in America's exceptionalism. Remember, under Obama, it took weeks of public outcry to Obama obligingly finally, fine, I'll put on a American flag lapel pin. Oh, Robbie, you remember that? Remember, well, what does it matter if I wear a lapel? Well, because you're the goddamn president. That's why. What the flip? What are you? The president of Uganda? I mean, are you the Secretary General of the United Nations? What the hell, man? But that was it. And some of you are nodding along right now going, yeah, Sam, you're exactly right. I remember that. I remember that interview. Well, what does it matter if I have to put in my lapel? Oh, my gosh. That's who the left has become. And it's not what your grandfather's, your father's Democratic Party was. And if I have a hope for this country, if there's a hope, and I'm not entirely confident we can get back there, and it's that we get back to both countries loving, both parties loving the country. Ours does. And the critical difference, those of you who listened to me through the Biden years, those of you who listened to me during Obama when I was out in LA on KBC, there was never any doubt in my mind that I loved America, that I loved the U.S. of A., that this was my country. I was mad as hell about what the Obama guy and the Biden guy, or whoever the Biden guy really was or was running things, what they were doing to the country. I didn't like that. But at no point did I go, I'm just disgusted with my country. Oh, I can't cheer for the Olympics. What? An American figure skater? What? Team USA? What? Oh, ugh, tough to celebrate. This is, to me, this is a mental problem. It's just plain mental. And by the way, we'll get to this here in a moment after the break. Look at Mexico. You want to see what a failed state looks like? Look at Mexico. Look at what just happened there yesterday. I mean, there's people genuinely stuck. And my favorite thing is there's a bunch of Canadians stuck out there. And these are Canadians that didn't come visit Las Vegas because of Trump. They didn't go to LA because of Trump. They can go to Miami because of Trump. And so they went to Puerto Vallarta. Now, I'm not knocking back. Mexico's a beautiful people, great people, tremendous food, particularly coastal Mexico where there's fish. I mean, but the country is a mess. It is a failing before our very eyes terror narco state. And I'm submitting this as another exhibit of how the left is just dumb. I mean, the leftists are going down there because we're going to show Trump. We're going to show him. But yeah. By the way, just after the game yesterday, I had dinner here in Prague with a guy who's high up in the Czech Hockey Federation, owns a big club here in the country. And I wanted to show you guys, those of you watching the Sam Cam, by the way, everywhere except for, well, I know on Apple iTunes, you don't get the video, but Spotify, you get the video. And on YouTube, of course. So he brought me something. I have here in my hands the official hockey puck, game puck here from Milano, from Cortina. So I'm just showing this to you. Here's an actual puck brought to me by Czechs, by the way. I'm in Prague here for this week and a bit of next. Big on hockey. It's in our blood, okay? My parents are Czech. This is their hometown. So I'm just sharing this with you. Here you go. Go America. Go Team USA. This is a victory, and you can celebrate it even if you despise Donald Trump. That's my message to you. I don't know. And if that offends you, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Who am I quoting? All right, Sam Mirejovsky here on the What's Right Media Network. This hour of the program brought to you by Sam and Ash Injury Law, because you deserve what's right.
I'm the best.
Personal injury law has been the same for a long time.
The best.
Big egos, greed, and sleazy schemes. We've had enough. Welcome to Sam and Ash, the new standard for personal injury law, where things are done the right way, because you deserve a team that delivers real support and results. When you have both, your whole world can change. Sam and Ash Injury Law, because you deserve what's right.
All right, folks, welcome back. Sam Mirejovsky here on the What's Right Media Network, Nevada's favorite recovering Californian. It's complicated right now with my identity. Yeah, I'm Nevada's favorite. We got a international podcast, if you will. I'm broadcasting from my home studio in Prague in the Czech Republic. So those of you watching the Sam behind me, actually, a word about this, if I may. This is a historic building that I'm in. It was built in 1590, but the foundations of the building precede this part of the original fortifications of the city of Prague, just under Prague Castle and an area, a lot of embassies around here and old palaces. But this house has seen a lot, and it has been in a number of films, including Amadeus. So if you, George Foreman, Amadeus, about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, right out this window here, famous scenes filmed with this house right, up in the background. So by the way, if you want to see more, I'm posting a little bit. I don't do it on Twitter, on X. I get political on X, and then I put up photos and videos and things like that on Instagram. Because I don't do TikTok. I don't give until they sort out who owns to make sure the Chicoms don't have their fingers in. The Zuckerberg's Meta. Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I hate Facebook. Oh my gosh, I hate Facebook so much. But anyway, on Insta at What's Right Sam. I don't often plug that, but I've got some pictures of my time here in Prague. If you are at all curious, check it out. Pun intended. Hey, quick word about Sam and Ash Injury Law. If you've been in an accident, don't be a dummy. I mean this respectfully, right? Don't try to do it on your own. It's not the right move. Every week I get a phone call from somebody who got hurt, went and tried to talk to the insurance company. Days, weeks, months later, they got pennies on the dollar. They spent hours upon hours of their life, and for nothing. Upside down, $1,500, $1,800, $3,000, $4,000. I've heard it all. Don't be that person. Call Sam and Ash today. No recovery, no fee. Doesn't cost you any money up front. And if for whatever reason the case doesn't work out, you don't owe a penny. So, 800-304-2000. That's all you have to do. Call that number. All right? 800-304-2000. samandashlaw.com, because you deserve what's right. Okay. Let's, Sam Mirejovsky here, of course. What's Right Media Network. At What's Right Sam on X, at What's Right Sam on Instagram. There we go. I've now listed it. Oh, my email. Oh my gosh, my email. Please email me with questions, comments, concerns. sam@whatsrightshow.com. Before we get to Gavin Newsom, can we first, Mexico? Can we acknowledge that perhaps having a tightly regulated / closed / secure border between us in the United States of America and whatever the hell is going on down there, that having that closed border is a good idea? I mean, this is like a giant build the wall campaign. Yeah, Now, I'm telling you there's a fair amount of palace intrigue going on down there. Now, the who and the what is this, right? The Mexican army apparently yesterday killed the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. The guy's name, the El Jefe, the Patron. If you've watched Narcos, you know what I'm talking about. His name is Nemesio Ruben Oseguera Cervantes. But because it's a longer name than even your average illegal trying to get deported from the state of Maryland, they've simply shortened it to El Mencho. I'm not being offensive. I'm just... Yeah, don't look at me like that, Robbie. I'm trying to do a show here. Okay. So what you have to know about this cartel is that they are currently the most powerful cartel in Mexico. And they've got uniforms, they've made tanks, like these people have actually built themselves tanks, they've got snipers. They're basically an army that is better than most countries in the world have, okay? That's what they have. They're called the CJNG. And when they killed their patron, their jefe de jefes, all hell broke loose. And they basically went to occupy their in the Puerto Vallarta area. But it's beyond that. It's not just PV. It's Guadalajara. It's Cancun, Tijuana, Puerto Vallarta, the Guadalajara airport. People are stranded there. I mean, the tourists are physically stuck, okay? And they're fearing for their lives. And you know, look, just imagine this, right? And now you understand, right? When people say it's a narco state or a narco terrorist state, and so you say, well, you know what, Sam, you're just one of those terrible conservative Republicans that hates Mexicans. I love that argument. First of all, have you listened to my show at all? I think Mexico City is one of my favorite cities in the world. I'm not gonna lie. If you've ever been, you know what I'm talking about. It's a beautiful place, incredible, rich history, and you know, I'm still mad at them that they, you know, shot Emperor Maximilian. But other than that, you know, I'm perfectly fine with the Mexicans. Great people, have many friends there. But the state is functionally, and I won't say non-existent, but look at this, that the military is struggling to put down, if I'm going to use Democrat language, an insurrection by an armed paramilitary group. I mean, would we ever here in the U.S. allow for a paramilitary group to be operating within our borders, to have been operating for many years, to be growing, to be building tanks? I hope that's a rhetorical question. So why is it happening? And the answer is very simple, because the politicians are in on it. And this Scheinbaum, whatever her name is, cow of a president that they have, hates Trump, by the way. Scheinbaum, thank you. Whatever. I mean, there's people in Mexico I know that are basically saying that they believe that this whole operation went off without her knowing. That the military did it without getting an okay, knowing that if they had spoken to her and the Security Council, that she would have tipped off the cartel. I mean, because what happened is they attacked they knew where the boss was. They knew where the cartel boss was. They firefight ensued. They shot him. He got, shot, and he was being transported back to Mexico City. He died via transport. They got his son too. So it sort of took out the hierarchy. Now, I don't know. Look, I'm file this away under Sam's spidey sense. Okay, I could be wrong. I'm not giving this to you as dispositively true news. But my sense is I think there's some truth to that. I think, and I believe that the Americans were far more, right? Our troops and our intelligence people were involved at every level. And I believe that when you are the military in Mexico and you are one of the good guys, and your people are getting murdered by this organization that continues to grow and get more powerful and get more weapons and become functionally every bit as strong as you are, as a soldier in your country's armed forces, as a Mexican patriot, what are you going to start to think? You're going to start to think, well, hell's bells, what the frick am I doing here? You're going to start to think, you know what, if we don't take care of this problem, we won't have a country anymore. Now, if I'm true, what we're brinking on in Mexico is some form of a well, I'm just going to say a revolution, but there's political instability and risk in Mexico right now that's tremendous. So goes without saying, the Sam, pro tip here is do not visit Mexico anytime soon, and that includes anywhere in Mexico. Hell, I wouldn't get within 20 feet of the border. Okay. And the second thing I would is any time that one of your friends, well, you know what, we're just deporting too many people. I go, how many of the people that snuck into this country from Mexico are affiliated with this cartel? Did you see what they're doing? They took over an airport. Tried to. They're taking over swaths of Mexico. What do? They sell drugs. Where do they sell those drugs? Do they sell them in Ghana? No, they sell them in America. So you're telling me that this cartel didn't send anybody into this country to operate on their behalf, to distribute product, to kill our kids, our friends, our neighbors with their poison, and to extract from us dollars, hard currency, by the billions to feed their machine, their war machine back home? You're telling me they didn't send anybody into the country to do that? If you actually believe that if you actually believe that most of the people that came into the country under Biden were operating in good faith and just wanted a better future, and that they weren't in some way assisted or in cahoots with the cartel, I mean, you're just as dumb as Gavin Newsom. By the way, what am I talking about? Gavin Newsom is got to be. I hope, Robbie, this is the end of his political career. I doubt it, because the Democrats have a way of springing back to life. Did you see he's talking to a room full of African Americans, and he says, I'm just as stupid as all of you. Did you see this? I'm just as stupid as all of you. No, he actually said it. Roll the tape.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech, because I cannot read a speech. Maybe the wrong business to be in.
This is the worst thing I've seen since Hillary. I have hot sauce in my pockets. Clinton did that routine. Are you relating? Gavin Newsom has grown up and has lived a life that none of us, I think, very few of us can even imagine how he grew up. And if we were insufferable liberals, we would call it privilege and say he grew up with privilege. And we'd say it disparagingly. Now, the one thing is, people said, that anytime Gavin Newsom's lips are moving, he's lying. Have you heard this, Robbie? Okay. I think this is the most true thing he said. Like, I've been telling you folks, and you know this, Newsom is objectively not a smart guy. If Newsom, I gotta choose my words carefully. Who is the ugliest person in politics? This is look, if Newsom looked like Jerry Nadler, okay? If Newsom looked like Jerry Nadler before gastric bypass, okay, he wouldn't be where he is, right? I mean, generally speaking, there are plenty of ugly people in politics. It's why they call politics Hollywood for ugly people. There's a certain amount of truth to it. But the people that are ugly have some capacity, some smarts. Newsom's skated by entirely on his good looks, on his money, and on the political connections that his family has given him. Right? This is a guy that could only make it in politics. He's not a legitimate business guy. He hasn't built anything. Oh, Sam, he has a winery. He invested in a restaurant. Yeah, he's got family money. Get lost. He's not an entrepreneur. He's a moron, but he looks good. And, unfortunately, with a certain segment of the population, I guess the segment of the population that can't find a way to get their birth certificates and marriage certificates after they get a name change after getting married, that segment of the population apparently is smitten. And and this is not a unique problem to our country. Trudeau, Trudeau's even dumber, but the ladies love him, and even some of the men. But we all know what kind of men those are. So the Newsom thing, Newsom apparently is basically like a liberal married woman. And by his own admission here.
So this is madness. Voter ID. It's not about voter ID. The SAVE Act's not about that. It's about registration. It's about proving your citizenship with a passport. Not everyone has a passport. I don't know where you know where your birth certificate is? I lost that at 7. I mean, I don't even know where to begin to get it back.
What do you make of this? What do you make of it? I think you can't. If you got a 900 plus on your SAT, you know how to get your birth certificate. Okay. Like, I know that's not the best score, but it's not the worst. I mean, you're not functionally retarded. This argument is so ridiculously bad. I'm gonna get to it. Don't worry. I'm getting there. All I'm saying about Newsom, this is the great hope of the Democratic Party. This is one of the party's stars. This is a guy who, my opinion, I know some disagree with me. In my opinion, he's going to be the nominee. Let's put it this way: if the primaries were held today and the Democratic Party consisted of the party grandees and the superdelegates as presently constituted, Gavin Newsom would become the nominee. Okay, if it was all going down today. So I'm just telling you. Now, a great moment happened on TV. This is great. This was Friday. It was after our show aired, so I've been following this. Apparently, somebody named John Barron, a pseudonym that Trump would use many times when talking on background to media, called into C-SPAN to Greta Bronner's show. And identified himself again, John Barron in Virginia. Tell me what you think of this.
John in Virginia, Republican. Let's hear from you.
Well, this is John Barron, and this is the worst decision you've ever had in your life, practically. Jack's going to agree with me, right? But this is a terrible decision. And you have Hakeem Jeffries, he's a dope, and you have Chuck Schumer, who can't cook a cheeseburger. Of course these people are happy. But true Americans will not be happy. And you have the woman earlier, I assume she's a woman, she's a Democrat, but she said she's disgraced. She's devastated.
All right,
by
John.
this.
I'm not saying it's Trump. People are saying it's Trump. I have heard people who are so good at imitating Trump's voice. And again, there was no video. This was a caller, right? This is C-SPAN. You know how it works. That talk radio style. So I'm not saying that this was Trump, but could it be? Huh? Interesting. But you know what? I'll say it again. And we're running out of time here today, but I'll say it again. The coming AI revolution is going to be devastating for countries that don't have manufacturing. Everything Trump has been doing to get manufacturing repatriated to the U.S. will be a godsend to us 2 years from now. Mark my words. Mirejovsky here on the What's Right Media Network. Let's have a great week. I'll see you tomorrow.